You open your investment app on an ordinary Tuesday, not payday, not the first of the month, just a random Tuesday standing in line for coffee. And there it is, $50,127, 5 digits. You stare at it for a second longer than usual, and something shifts in your chest. You've never had this much money in your life, not in an account with your name on it, growing quietly while you slept. And right behind the pride, a new thought shows up, a quiet, dangerous little thought. Okay, now I should probably do something with this. That thought, that exact thought, is the reason most people who reach $50,000 never reach $500,000. Because here's what nobody tells you. $50,000 invested isn't just a bigger number. It's a psychological trap. It's the first moment your money feels real. Real enough to protect, real enough to play with, real enough to ruin. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what to do the moment you cross $50,000. The 5 moves that separate people who compound from people who sabotage, and the one feeling you need to learn to distrust for the rest of your financial life. Step 1. Understand what $50,000 actually is. It's not a pile of money. It's an engine that just turned on. Run the numbers. If you invested $500 a month at a historical average of 8% per year, your first $50,000 took about 6.5 years. Of that $50,000, roughly $38,000 came out of your paycheck. Only about $12,000 came from growth. You built almost all of it yourself, dollar by dollar, transfer by transfer. For 6 years, the market was barely helping. But watch what happens next. At $50,000, an 8% year adds about $4,000. The market is now depositing over $300 a month into your account, almost matching your own contribution. For the first time, you have a silent partner working next to you. Your next $50,000 doesn't take 6.5 years. It takes a little over 4. Your first $100,000 takes almost 11 years. Your second $100,000 takes less than 6. And if you simply left that $50,000 completely alone, never added another cent, at a historical 8% average, it would double by itself in about 9 years, reach roughly $233,000 in 20, and around $500,000 in 30. The first $50,000 is built by you. Everything after is built by the machine. Your only job now is to not break the machine, and that job is much harder than it sounds, because the ways people break it never feel like breaking it. They feel like being smart. Step 2. Write down your do-nothing plan. This sounds anticlimactic. It's the most important step on this list. Take 20 minutes and write 1 page. What you own, why you own it, how much you invest each month, and most importantly, what you will do when the market drops 30%. Spoiler, the answer you write should be keep buying on schedule and change nothing. Date it, sign it, screenshot it. Future you, mid-panic, will not remember today's logic. Future you will need to read it. Why does a piece of paper matter this much? Because Morningstar's annual Mind the Gap study found that over the decade ending in 2024, the average dollar invested in funds earned about 7.0% per year, while the funds themselves returned 8.2%, a gap of 1.2 percentage points per year, roughly 15% of all the returns those funds generated. Read that again. The investments delivered. The investors didn't collect, not because the funds were bad, because of when people bought and sold them. The same study found a clear pattern. The more investors traded, the less their average dollar made, and the people who captured the most return were sitting in automated, all-in-one setups that removed the need to ever take action. 1.2% sounds tiny. It is not tiny. On your $50,000 plus $500 a month, an 8% return grows to about $1.29 million in 30 years. At 6.8%, the same portfolio minus the behavior gap, it grows to about $969,000. That tiny gap costs you over $320,000. Not to fees, not to a crash, to your own fingers. A 1-page plan is how you handcuff your own fingers. Step 3. Kill the upgrade urge. Here's what happens in almost every head at $50,000. Index funds got me here, but now I have real money. Real money deserves a real strategy. Maybe some individual stocks. Maybe that sector fund everyone's talking about. I've been doing this for years now. I know what I'm doing. You may be thinking, but isn't it smart to get more sophisticated as my portfolio grows? it feels smart. The data says the opposite. In one of the most famous studies in finance, researchers Barber and Odean analyzed 66,465 households at a large brokerage from 1991 to 1996. The households that traded the most earned 11.4% per year, while the market returned 17.9%. The most active investors, the ones doing the most strategy, underperformed by 6.5 points a year. Their explanation was overconfidence, and their central message was literally the title of the paper: trading is hazardous to your wealth. And those trendy sector funds, Morningstar found the average dollar invested in the most volatile sector funds lagged the fund's own buy and hold return by over 7 percentage points per year. The fund did fine. The humans inside it got wrecked, buying after the hot streak, selling after the collapse, every single cycle. Sophistication is how $50,000 portfolios commit suicide. Quick pause. If this is the kind of video that saves you from a $300,000 mistake, that subscribe button costs you nothing. Hit it, and let's keep going, because the next step is the one that decides everything. Step 4. Pre-decide your crash behavior right now, while you're calm. At $5,000, a 30% market crash costs you $1,500. Annoying. At $50,000, it costs you $15,000. That's a used car evaporating on your phone screen. That's months of your salary, gone in red numbers. This is the first crash that will physically hurt. You'll feel it in your stomach. You'll check the app 5 times a day, and every headline will scream that this time is different. You need to decide today, in peace, what you'll do, because you will not decide well in panic. But what if I just step out until things calm down and get back in later? Let's do that math honestly. You sell your $50,000 after a 30% drop. You're out at $35,000. The market recovers 20% off the bottom before you finally feel safe again, and you buy back in. When prices return to where they started, the person who held has their full $50,000. You have about $41,700. That round trip, sell scared, rebuy relieved, permanently deleted 17% of your portfolio. Not on paper, forever. Same market, same recovery, same starting money. The only difference was the exit, and trying to dodge only the bad days doesn't work either, because the best days hide inside the worst weeks. JP Morgan found that over the past 20 years, 7 of the market's 10 best days happened within 15 days of the 10 worst days. A $10,000 investment in the S&P 500 from 2005 to 2024 grew to $71,750 fully invested, but missing just the 10 best days cut it to $32,871. And an investor who kept jumping in and out badly enough to miss the 60 best days, they ended with $4,712, less than half of what they originally put in a market that multiplied by 7. A crash at $50,000 isn't a threat to your plan. Historically, it's been a discount on your next decade of purchases. Step 5. If you want to go faster, raise the boring lever. There is exactly one lever at this stage that adds money with zero added risk: your contribution. Got a raise? Before your lifestyle absorbs it, move half of it into the automatic transfer. Going from $500 to $700 a month on top of your $50,000 doesn't require research, timing, or genius. And at that same historical 8% average, it moves your $250,000 mark about a year and a half closer, and your $500,000 mark about 2 years closer. 2 extra years of freedom, bought with $200 a month you were about to spend on things you can't remember. Not a new asset class, not leverage, not a hot tip from a coworker. More fuel, same engine. Now here's the uncomfortable truth underneath all 5 steps. The reason most people sabotage at $50,000 isn't greed, and it isn't stupidity, it's identity. $50,000 is the first number big enough to make you feel like an investor, and people who feel like investors want to invest, actively, visibly, cleverly. They want opinions on the market. They want moves to talk about. Doing nothing feels like wasting the title, but the entire data set of ordinary investors says the same thing from every angle. The accounts that win are the ones that are hardest to distinguish from abandoned. The behavior gap, the overtrading penalty, the missed best days, they're all the same story wearing different numbers. The story of someone who felt qualified at exactly the wrong moment. At $50,000, your biggest risk is no longer the market. It's you, feeling qualified. Boredom is the fee that compounding charges. Most people refuse to pay it. So, the moment you hit $50,000, 1. Recognize the engine just turned on. Your job changed from building to protecting. 2. Write your one-page do-nothing plan. Sign it and automate everything. 3. Kill the upgrade urge. Simplicity got you here, and the data says it scales. 4. Pre-decide your crash behavior while you're calm, because held shares recover and sold shares don't. 5. If you want speed, raise contributions, not risk. Which milestone are you closest to right now? Your first $1,000, $10,000, or $50,000? And be honest, have you ever caught yourself wanting to do something with your portfolio just because the number got big? Drop it in the comments. I read every one.